60.3. That's going to leave a mark. Yeah, more's not better. Better's better.
All right, guys, our last episode, we looked at efficiency in movement. You guys obviously loved it. We got a ton of views on it, a ton of feedback, a ton of comments. Everybody's loving the video. I wanted to come back and nerd out just a little bit more, and we talked about a whole bunch of things that Rich is going to bring up right now.
Yeah, so the last trip, we looked at running mechanics. I spoke in the importance of efficiency, and regardless whether it be running or whatever, how well you move has much to do with how much sustainability you're going to have in performance. So the other consideration is the energetics. Where is the energy coming from? What can you tolerate? So the focus here today was identifying lactate tolerance and discussing what things we could do to improve the ability to dissipate lactate if it was necessary or put it back to work for us. And these folks did an amazing job.
So I was on the rower, and we got hooked up with the masks, and you guys are going to get to see how all that went down.
Where?
Hold this for me just like by your face. No, he's going to hold it by your face. And then,
So I'm giving a blowjob now.
so.
I'm used to two hands, but one's fine.
That's, depends how big a hose you got to hold on to, right? Slide back and forth.
You're not holding any hoses.
This needs to be the cover of this video.
Stop.
You like it? This is going to be money.
Am I supposed to wear a mic?
I'm going to get 1 million views just from that.
My arm's tired.
I haven't done this in a long time.
This is turning into a full-blown porno. We're actually doing a VO2 max / colonic today.
Get your, you got to get it underneath that.
Oh, yeah. Can you just go around?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this thing's cold.
Whatever.
Can I just come and touch it?
Yes, the dope is about 7, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to guide you through how much force you're putting into this thing. Okay? So just don't go nuts. We got to guide you into this.
Okay.
So it's going to be relatively chill for a while, and then I'm going to start really loading you up. And then I'm going to tell you, when I say go for it, I want you to just do all you can until you need to stop. And then when you need to stop, I'm going to hit recovery, and you're just going to do like a recovery, let your heart rate come back down again. Nice and easy to start rowing. All we need to do is just nice and easy, okay? I just want to keep this receiver right in front of his chest. You know, the part of this program that I don't like is I don't want to be on that thing for 10 minutes.
You just want to go get there and get
2 minutes
out.
and be done. Pretty aerobic right now. All right, so here comes that infamous orange line. Look at that. He's all up in the fat stores right now. Okay, give me a little bit more pace. Just a little bit more pace now. Your heart rate's 113 beats per minute. Give me a little more pace. There you go. You're good at that.
I'm just going to go with it, yeah. I don't want to mess him up.
You're doing good. Okay, give me a little more pace. Heart rate's 129 beats per minute. 130. 66% fat use. A little more pace. 42. A little more pace. Now at 32% fat use right now. 148. Let's go. A little bit more. There you go. Try to hold that. Man, you're good at that. That thing is as steady as it can be. Yeah. I may have to keep you around. 155. 156.
Are you trying to get it?
Go for it. Go for broke. Go for broke. Heart rate's 167. 51.1. It's going to go up again. You'll see. Let's go. It's going to happen. Don't give up on it yet. Don't give up on it yet. Don't give up on it yet. There you go. 54.5. $60.3. There you go. Okay, now roll your, just nice and easy now. Nice and easy. Excellent work. You guys are a great team. Going to flush some of that waste out now. I know you don't want that mask on any longer, but you got a little bit longer.
That is so gnarly to keep that on when you're done.
I know.
I was like getting anxiety. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna fucking die.
It's harsh.
Honestly, I could have kept the effort a little longer.
It's the max.
No, it was, my pace was falling. So I thought you wouldn't like it. Because I was
Yeah, no, so look, at the end of the day,
I could have kept dying, but I don't think
I'm
it was
so
worth
glad
it.
you said that, because if you think about what you just said, as you got to that point where the fatigue was getting to be too much, you could kept on, but you wouldn't be producing more work.
It's not worth it.
What's the value in that,
Yeah.
right? If you're not able to produce more work, then why bother? So clearly that's an issue. That's why you start thinking, like for you, I'd say when you punched up about 160, that'd be the top end of the interval. I might keep you there for 30 seconds, recover down to like 145, back to 160, 145. In that range, I think you'll start moving that threshold and you'll start developing that tolerance
145?
on the low end. See, the computer,
Yeah,
Wow.
fuck, I wanted to go more, but I was like,
You okay?
Yeah, I actually didn't feel it. My hamstring was starting to blow up.
just got to move these around a little bit.
You can export that as a file to send me.
Yeah. You want it in a PDF?
Well, JPEG works too.
Yeah, 170. Like my heart rate doesn't go very high.
Yeah, people are all over the place.
Was there anything really good about my score?
I don't know how to compare it. It's trying to give you a 53, and I know you blew a 60. If I go to the raw data, you blew a 63.6. It's the highest attained number. So that's good.
That's pretty
I mean,
good.
I don't do enough testing on one of these things to know what that number might look like.
I'm terrible rower.
Well, point being is if this was your entire focus, it would be huge. I'll bet you if you ran
I get a higher
minus the
number.
knee, you'd probably get a better VO2
Yeah.
score. This is a bitch to do
It's
this.
hard, yeah.
I've done this. I used to do canoe clubs. There's a club in Marina del Rey, in La Naquila. It's all girls. And I did VO2s on all those. I've VO2'd everything.
This isn't breathing for me. I fail from leg endurance. Like when I'm failing, my legs are on fire. It's
Right.
not my lungs.
Right.
That's why I was like, well, damper.
Well,
That's
but
why I put it on lower
it's
damper.
regional fatigue because you're not able to liberate that waste from the muscles. And it's the same thing with any part of your body, especially if you're untrained. Like I'll do triathletes, I'll put them on the bike first, and because they're fixed on the bike, they don't worry about falling off or anything, and I'll rip their hearts out. And then 5-10 minutes later, I put them on the treadmill and do another VO2, and their threshold is higher on the run than it is on the bike,
Okay.
sometimes by 20 beats. So that, typically you would think if the fatigue was an issue, they wouldn't be able to produce more work. But because we tend to be more biped, we're not designed to do this with our legs unless you're well trained at it. I've worked with professional cyclists, and it's crazy what they can do on a bike. They sound like a vacuum cleaner when they're on there, right? But the average person doesn't have that kind of skill set. Just like this you got to really, really have this wired to get a big. I'd probably blow up at 100 beats per minute if trying to do this myself. So blowing a 60 is indicating your fitness is really hot. It's good. The fact that your heart rate's not going too crazy, I mean, it says 170 top end here. But the fact that you were struggling at that 160 range, to me, I think that's at your number. So I'll tell you, I got clients that live on different parts of the planet. They don't get a chance to see me. And they'll say, I can go get a VO2 test and I'll send you the data. I'm going, yeah, okay, that's great. But I didn't see you get tested. I can glean so much more information from seeing the way you're moving relative to the work you're doing. And that feeds you information as opposed to just looking at stats, right?
Yeah, 160, I feel like I could probably go for a long time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And typically, universities, they do it. And usually what it is some student,
Yeah.
you know, and yeah, and they might have done it like 10 times in their life. I don't know. I have a tendency to not give people credit when they should. Let's get some up here. Let's get up to this plateau right here. Where's that at? Yeah, so here's what I'm looking at. This is the respiratory exchange ratio. You see how it's starting to climb, and you see how it plateaued here? That's at about 164. You were stuck right there. And then all of a sudden, boom, you see that jump towards the end? That's right about where you started to fail. This is where you punched up to probably 170, right about there. So 164 would probably be a better number for the top end, just to really, really push the envelope. But the low end for you, I'd probably want to take you no lower than right about there, which is 145. 145, 164, or just round it off, 165 top end. It just becomes a function of how much time you're going to spend up there. So if you said, oh, I'm going to do a 1 minute interval, probably 160.
Yeah.
If you're doing a 30-second interval, maybe 165. If you really want to hammer it out, I wouldn't let my heart rate recover more than 145. If you did, I see these people do these a good example is, there's a guy in, I won't even use his name, but there's a guy in OCR that he got real famous for putting his treadmill on a 40% incline and just working. I mean, you can't really run it, so you're kind of marching, hands on your knees, until he falls off the back of it. I see he's teaching himself how to come in 10th place. Mm-hmm. He's not getting faster doing that.
It's actually sad because that same analogy is all over CrossFit right now.
Well,
everyone's like, oh, I did 7 workouts today, or I did this, or I did that, or I did
more's
something
not
with
better.
a sandbag for fucking whatever, and they're dead.
Yeah, more's not better. Better's better.
Yeah.
And I'll have people, even with the guys that I coach, sometimes they get cocky. They come to me because they heard I'm the guy. And then they come back with, oh man, your workouts, it's not that bad. I'm used to this, and the other thing. I said, all right, I'll ramp it up a little bit. And then they start chilling because I'm killing them now. So you should have done the work I gave you. It was appropriate. Now you're asking for too much and you can't do it, right? So absolutely. I think it's across the board because you don't have anything to gauge it. We just gauged it. This took a lot of the predictive measure out of the equation. I know we're not trying to turn you into an aerobic animal. We're trying to get you more friendly with this insidious place,
We call it
the dark side.
The dark side.
Make friends with the dark side. Get in here and deal with the evil, and just kind of not taking too much of it, not getting too much recovery, and just letting your body figure it out. And then you'll start noticing, wow, it took this, and your gauge, incidentally, you're asking, well, what do I go from here? Your gauge is your recovery. You start noticing that the trend took me a minute to get back down, now I'm getting down in 30 seconds. Incidentally, Hunter is a freaking phenom when it comes to recovery. I would have them do thrusters. I forgot we're using like 50-pound dumbbells out in the ravine, and then 50-pound dumbbells, thrusters for a minute, and then run up to the top of this hill, come back down. I said, when your heart rate comes back down to 120, we do it again. He'd come back down, he goes, my heart rate's 120. I said, sorry for you, you gotta do it again. So he never got a break. He just ran back down, picked up the weights, did it again, because the recovery was so good.
All right, guys, we're all done. Thankfully, I've had enough time to cool down a little bit so I can actually talk for a little while. I don't think either one of us could talk at all. No, that was really, really rough. We got into a whole bunch of stuff, and to really, really spit it out the way that I'd like to spit it out, I'm going to have Rich do it. But before we do that, I hope you guys subscribe. I hope you guys love what we're doing. If you guys have any other suggestions of things you'd like to see, we can definitely come back and do that. So go ahead and put those comments down. Make sure you subscribe, share it to your friends, and tag me and tag Claire, P. Thomas, on Instagram. We'll get back to you. So, Rich, take it over.
All right, so in essence what we did, as discussed earlier, we identified mechanics, what efficiency of motion looks like, and then we put it to the test. So we did a direct gas analysis, which is a VO2 max test, to identify the metabolic turn point when we got away from burning fat to burning sugar. And then armed with that information, we could start developing an approach to the training relative to what it is we're trying to challenge. So in her case, we had her on the treadmill running. We identified her threshold. We identified what is tolerable, what is not. And the same thing for Ryan. We got him on the erg. Boy, he powered this thing out. It was an amazing thing. You'll see it in the video, obviously enough. But it's very interesting to see the amount of work that you can do before it becomes untenable, and identifying what heart rates mark that point in the road. So it was a good outing.
So now we both have our heart rates now, and we know how to train and where to train to be better and more efficient in our sports. So I hope you guys learn a little bit more of that as well throughout the video.
Where do you find Richard?
Richard Diaz on Instagram.
It's DIAZHP.
Ooh.
At DiazHP. HP is for human performance.
Website.
Or DSHumanPerformance.com, or naturalrunningcoach.net, or the Natural Running Network is the podcast.
Awesome.
It's a lot of things.
Thank
if
you.
you can't find them, you fucked up.
You know,